Okay, you guys, welcome back. I just thought I recorded a segment, so I have to look at this segment all over again when I just took them out of the box. I noticed this box had artwork on both sides. This side of the box, and you flip it around, and it actually has the same design. If you guys can see it on that side of the box as well. So I had just recorded this and realized I wasn't recording at all. So let me get back to it. There we go, in focus. And I was looking at the instructions, and I was seeing that these instructions, were a little more colorized. I don't remember the original Masterpiece release being this well colorized, these instructions being this well done. I don't particularly remember that. Maybe they were. I just have to take a quick look again. These look really good. Wasn't expecting that, especially when, they didn't give you a box. Like you normally get. You didn't get you got the cardboard box. I don't know if I mentioned this in my previous take, but they did not put in a Masterpiece box like they did with, all the other Masterpieces. Megatron, recently, Trailbreaker, MP Trailbreaker and all that. So kind of surprised that didn't happen, but we're going to take this look out. I'll talk about why I decided to purchase this fourth party one. I think many of you guys can guess if you have been watching some of my older videos at all, and it shouldn't be hard for you to guess, but we'll get them out, take a look at them real quick, and do a quick talk up on this knockoff version, fourth party version of Masterpiece Skyfire. I got them out, and I really think there's I'm gonna skip a little bit of the feel. I just like to give the first take of when I take something out of the box, and the first things I look and feel on a figure. I feel there's a weight difference. They must have included some die cast in here, as well as I'm going to look, maybe raise this up a little bit so I can get a little more even stance with this. I don't know if that's helping me or not. I did change some things around in my room. I don't know if I mentioned that previously. You guys remember this. One of the reasons why, I'm going to go ahead and say it, that I got another Skyfire is because I had to repair the hip on this, and the clickers here, the ratchets here on the legs going out. Doesn't bother me. Legs go out pretty good, and they can come in. I just want to make sure I don't do it too quick. No real ratchet. Well, the ratchet that was, it looks like I lost a ratchet on, for some reason, the ratchet on the left leg is not responding. Oh, something's happened. Hate that it's happened on screen, but something with the inner workings of this leg joint, the left leg, something has happened here. So I'm going to stop it here. It does not take away from my feel about the toy. It's great so far. I did not like the fact that I had to go through what I went through, and that being from where it's from, they did not give me any kind of support. And you guys are used to this when you order from Takara. They only for local users they get support. So I'm definitely going to be taking a better look at this guy and seeing, this is kind of a backup figure for me. I'm kind of glad they did it so quick. They made another Skyfire very quick, and I'll bring the other one down and take a look at it, and we'll do some comparisons on how it looks, the differences in between. I'm sure there's some videos out there already about showing the differences of Skyfire, but so far it looks pretty good, pretty much the same. Get some accessories out, get the head plates out. I'm gonna bring the other one down, and we'll just talk off the top of my head as I usually do, and then see what the differences are. But one thing I'm noticing right off the bat, feel wise, this is weightier. This just feels like it has some die cast. Now, not saying the other one didn't. I'm not really sure. Okay, I got them all. I got my other Skyfire down. The one on the left is indicated by, this is the original, the Masterpiece. This is the knockoff. I got the Decepticon symbol on the knockoff, which this came with the blank piece on it, and I put the Decepticon symbol on it. This one came originally with the Autobot symbol on it. Masterpiece, perhaps it deserves to have that honor. So this It's very interesting when I look at these guys. I had got him up. I had just done transforming him, and I put them right next to each other. I noticed some things right away that I don't know if it's a matter of heroism, however you say that word, or I'm going to use a new word here again. This looks secondish to the heroicness of this guy. And let me push these shoulders, these hips and joints in like they're supposed to be via transformation, because it's something about the original that looks like this is the original. Weird, isn't it? I don't know how to explain that. When I first, and I don't have him all articulated out yet or nothing like that, but I just noticed that right from the start. Maybe if I put an Autobot symbol on him, I might see something. Of course, he's tilted back more. This guy isn't. Maybe that was the difference here. Right off the bat from the look, that's what I just noticed. Of course, he's duller. I think I know that from certain reviews that we're going to look at the faceplates and stuff like that. This is a duller. I don't mean it in a negative way. It's just not painted out or like like the original Takara. But yet I do see like the gray paint on his face. It looks pretty much the same as the gray face. It's a little lighter maybe on the original. Maybe a tiny bit darker on the knockoff. One thing I also noticed, dabbing into the field again, I noticed that I really feel like this knockoff. I'm gonna have to get the scale out. Yeah, we're gonna get the scale out to see what that is before we get into articulation and the other aspects of how this thing looks. Yeah, let's look at some of the accessories first and compare them real quick, and then I just know one thing, transforming this thing up, this guy came together. This guy seemed like it's more tight together. This guy's a little looser on the chest. I noticed that right away. But here, let's look at some things. Let's get into this real quick. I showed you the instructions for this. Yeah, this is the Takara's instructions for him. And it looks good. A few pictures here look pretty good on the left. But look at this. All black and white and diagrammed out. I showed you one, and I'll show you real quick again. The instructions for the knockoff look much better, much better. It's very photogenic, and it gives you a much better. Not that it's a hard transformation at all, but I think I do like these instructions just from not really looking at them to transform them. I haven't transformed them yet anyway, but it's the same transformation, of course, as the shows you even where to hide the extra characters they give you, some cue points of where to put them. So it's even though this one does the same, this one's much better photogenic. I also noticed something about the stand real quick. The stand is stiffer. The stand, I had to pop it up. The one, I don't have it down. I'm not gonna bring it down. It's on top of my thing up there, way at the very top where I keep them. That this is, the paint must be doing it, because this is very tight to move. Yeah, I like that. I like the stand that still has everything the other one had. I had to really squeeze these together to get, they always, these are two pieces. These big flat pieces are two pieces. I really squeezed that together. And, Skyfire's gun up there. I think the gun from the original looks, the one here from the knockoff looks just as good as the one from the original. I really don't have them here to compare though. Possibly. The one on top is attached to the stand. It's part of the flight stand. I'm not going to take it apart right now. We're just looking at these real quick. This one looks a little more clearer. These look darker on the knockoff. This is the knockoff. This is the original. These look yellower. These look darker oranger. So I don't mind a little difference with knockoffs. That's pretty good. These symbols here look the same. I don't see a difference with. And this is the original. Let me lift this up a little bit. This is the original for that. There is a color difference. This is darker. This is more purplish. So there is a color difference there. Sorry. And here, just darker here for the logo. So, and this is part of the stand. So no big deal. Here, Optimus is knockoff from the Optimus. Takara Optimus. I can barely tell a difference, except this one on the knockoff does look lighter. The color looks a little lighter on the head. Body-wise, it's probably not worth even bringing, because it actually, this looks like overall, it might just be my matter of perspective from the camera, but I really do think this one's a little darker from the original. So just quick compare real quick. Yeah, I'm not even sure this is worth even. This one looks lighter for the wheel jack. When I look at the case looks lighter grayish. This one looks darker grayish from the original. This is the knockoff. So that's interesting. Paint's not exactly matching, which is fine. Who cares? You know, that's good. There's a little difference there. You don't want it. You get a little variation. If you have both of them like I do, you have a variation of a little bit of variation of color. And it's hard to tell on this one because they're so small and it's hard for me to grab them with my fingers, thick fingers a little bit, but hard for me to tell on this one. I have to look at it a little away from the camera for me to be able to tell it. And I would say there's some very minor differences here, but this one on the right looks a little less a little lighter. But the detail is hard to even compare. It's not even worth comparing, really. The face sculpts, I think, is a big difference. You can see them right away. This, of course, is the knockoff. This is the masterpiece, and you see the blue eyes and the darker gray color here. Pretty obvious. Is this the same type of faceplate? No, this would be the same faceplate for this one. So yeah, it's the same difference. You know, this one's darker. This one has the better paint, better sculpt. Don't know why they did that. That kind of takes away the fun of it. Not even sure why they did it. Well, they are knocking it off, so, you know, darker, lighter. And let's see, look at the G1 base Jetfire face. I'm not even seeing a real difference here. No, I see no real difference with this. Maybe nothing worth pointing out. Maybe a little paint scuff here comparably that I see, but nothing that I can point out there. So that's it for that. Next thing we'll get into, we'll just see how these compare as far as their movements. That's where we got into this in the hips earlier. So we'll see. But before moving on, let's just get to, I just want to weigh these real quick before I go to articulation on these. Very important to me because this is the reason why I decided to buy another one of these because of the lack of support. But nonetheless, we're just testing the weight on it at the moment. So the weight on this one is a 2 pounds, 6.2 ounces. So good hefty figure. Doesn't feel like it though. It's not as compact like the Fans Toys version, you know, the Galvatron and all that. I was correct, and I didn't expect to be, that this is heavier. There's just a little more die cast in this, and I don't have cold touch technology in my building in my fingers like some others do. But this is 0.5 ounces, which is a couple ounces heavier than, and that makes a difference. Really can't tell though because of the size of these figures. There's more heft in this guy, and it's by a couple 2.3 ounces of a difference there. So that's interesting. I had to know that. Now, real quick on articulations, I know we went through this before. A lot of times these parts, you know, they come unplugged here in certain parts of Skyfire. It doesn't bother me in the least. We know this guy goes all the way around, no problem. Has decent look up, limited look down, and of course goes around for side to side and et cetera, et cetera. Nothing super tight, but nothing super loose on him. Got good ratchets on his arms. Of course, this comes kind of out like that when you move the arms, and I haven't done this in a while. Very good ratchets on his arms. I'm not going to go all the way around, but it's definitely a 360 here. And I don't know if I have his hands fully. It looks like his hands are locked, so that might be me, but this one does not have much of an elbow. I don't know if I didn't stretch something out or what, but it doesn't have much elbow. Does not have a waist swivel at all. Has, like I said, the hips, I think in my original review and some other reviewers said the same thing. The hips can feign a ab crunch. And I don't have my hips in position or out enough to feign that, but it can feign it. But let's get away from there. Good have side skirts, cool. And this is where this guy was failing on me, getting close to the place where I had to fix it. Now it's not failing because you hear the ratchets in his hips now because I fixed it from my fixed video. Knees are excellent. I love that knee play, I should say. But you really don't get a lot of Monty's going this way because of the backpack. It's very limited. And it's not super tight, but it's not super loose. And I'm really pleased with being able to fix this guy. He looks great. So being able to do that, I wasn't sure at first I was going to be able to accomplish that. And just hearing of a backup coming, a quick knockoff, which brings into another discussion while I'm checking his articulation is about, here he comes apart a little bit. This is where Takara and Build runs into issues. Is that they have a hoist coming in. I never got the Fans Toys hoist. I never got them. And what I wanted to do was definitely have a backup for Skyfire. And I might get, despite the lack of, gotta be careful with this. Not really feeling, okay. When you get something new, you just gotta be careful when something kind of fights against you. Pretty good so far, same articulation. Lighter ratchets. To me, that's, yeah, these are lighter ratchets in the arms. You can hear the noise is a little bit different, a little lighter. Still comes apart, a little bit like that. Good, decent ratchets and for the up and down of the arms, good, decent ratchets. Doesn't look like the elbows have. Oh, so to me, I think I don't have this probably turned the right way. Or, you know, what am I doing wrong here? Whatever I'm doing wrong, I'll figure it out. So, yeah. So, good. And then we got same shoulder play. I'm just gonna go with the legs. Very soft ratchet, but it's very soft ratchet, but yet they feel firm on this guy. I hope I'm showing all this. You can hear the softness of it. Whew. Tight, kind of tighter, medium ratchets here. It's not an easy thing to do. Still the knees feel good. This is interesting. This might require a few more talking points here coming up, especially with transformation. But these shoulders, beautifully, they lock in much better than the original. Cool. Get some size comparisons here in a minute.
One flash of lightning, yeah.
I'm back. Believe it or not, it's 2 days later. But when I was doing the previous part of the video, I thought about making this more of a longer talk, but I don't think I will. It's not nothing really bad. It's just some things I want to talk about concerning this knockoff. Basically what I see right across the board. I think overall it's a great knockoff figure. I think the stand is good. I think it's a good substitute for the original, though there are some things in the original I'm still seeing that are still better, despite the weight difference, despite maybe extra die cast. And I feel like the original goes together better. I didn't transform him up because, like I said, it's 2 days. And I'll tell you why it took me 2 days, because I was being very careful. I found a way that would have made it quicker instead of just being 2 days. And I'll talk about that here in a second. But the main thing is that, okay, first thing off hands is that I can't get these wings to straighten. It seems like on the original, the wings straighten up better. These don't seem to really want to fall into place it's like one smooth platform. I can't get either side to really smoothen out. Now, could it get better in time? Sure. I don't know. Maybe if I play with it more, maybe it'll go together. Right now, the times I've been messing with it, it's a no-go. It's not going straighter on the wings. The other part is, and I'll throw a pickup, and I think I found a way would have made it easier for me. If I lift this up, you're gonna see. I'll show you in my pics. There's 2 sliding pieces. I had a heck of a time elongating the bottom part of this backpack. It took me, I stretched, I pulled. On the original transformation, you can just pull down. And, on the original masterpiece, you can just pull this part down. It's not an issue. This thing comes down. Let me put this down for a second and show you. It comes down rather easy. It never has been a problem. Never whatsoever. Couldn't get that thing down for nothing. I think there's another reviewer. I remember when I was doing this and I was struggling with it, I think there was another reviewer that said the same thing. He said he gave up. And I guess now I understand why he did, but then maybe he'll see this and maybe he's seen some other reviewers so far and he'll realize that really all I really needed to do, I'm gonna go ahead and take this apart real quick. Where's my spudger? Really, all he really needed to do, I might not get this apart back together during this video, but was just pretty much, I think if you loosen these, like in the picture, I'm thinking that will make it slide out easy. It still was a pull. And you got to be careful of everything. I scuffed a little paint on the other side. I'll find something to match it. You can't really tell. I scuffed a little because I used a tool that I probably shouldn't have used and blah, 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 blah. But really that took me, and I'm busy, I work, and I kept messing with it every now and again just to try to pull it out. Then I realized on top of the screws I just showed you, this can widen out. This can stretch out like it's supposed to before, as it's folded into a backpack, you can stretch this out and even pull it down without even elongating this part yet. And it just slipped me. Like I said, these things sit on my shelf. I don't mess with them as much. And if you do decide to get a knockoff, keep in mind, I never can get this top part to really, even on that one, to really fit together so perfectly. But like I said, I'm still messing with it. There's a couple, those are the major issues. There's paint scuffs here and there. I'll throw up another picture. 2 more pictures just showing some paint scuffs, sometimes right under the head. And in this area, you open that up as you transforming the top nose up, you'll see some paint scuffs. And then you'll see it on the wings. I'll put another picture up that's showing the wings having paint there. But really, those are the main thing that kept me from taking the most time with this figure. I think overall it's for the price of the figure, and if you get this to elongate, it is a tough pull. So if you do, get one of these, try loosening it a little bit from here. And then you can always stretch this open, pull this down, get this piece folded up from between there. Not that big of an issue. Maybe that would help. For me, it was. I saw another reviewer that kind of negated the issue when, okay, so I remember somebody saying they had trouble with this too. But overall, I have to give a little heads up. It's not a comparison. It's not a competition, but I do have to give a little heads up on the original, just for the fact that even though there's not a lot of support if something happens, this is a good backup. This is much less than half the price. So with that being said, yeah, I'll put the price up if that flashes across your screen. But with that being said, I think it's it's good to have. I think the leg, hips, ratchets, and everything on this one is tighter. The chest goes together better. I think I like this one for that fact. This has more vibrant colors. It's a little looser, but yet at the same time, that makes it more fluent in its movements. But me, I just had to see. I had to see what it was like. So you guys, Skyfire is a great character. Don't be afraid to get the knockoff if you don't want to pay that price. If you never got the original, the knockoff is still a good boy, to have in your collection, and it's for less than half the price. Wouldn't blame you at all. So I'm still, keeping these two for now. Maybe one day I'll decide on one or the other, but not sure this bad boy's going anywhere yet. So you guys, didn't want to make this longer than it needed to be. You guys take care. You have a blessed rest of your week. Take care.